See the difference every day. This is News 8 Now.
Good evening. The Rochester City School District claims it has cleaned up its act when it comes to financial matters.
But tonight, News 8 Now has a story about possible mismanagement. The district paid $250,000 to a group of consultants without first getting approval from the school board. Two board members say it never should have happened. Here to tell us how it did is News 8 Now's Rachel Barnhart.
The board members say the district broke an important rule. Contracts for more than $25,000 have to be approved by the school board. But the district gave multiple contracts to the same group of people for just under the limit.
The city schools pay millions of your tax dollars a year to outside consultants for work the district claims its own staff cannot do. The school board has to vote on contracts above $25,000. But there are hundreds of contracts for below that amount the board never got to see until recently.
We requested the quarterly reports because we were fearful that over the years abuse had taken place in one form or the other.
Board member Jim Bowers says his fears became reality when he read last fall's quarterly report of consultants paid by the district. It showed 3 companies at the same Pittsford office complex. The firms were hired to do assessments of the district's network security and capacity. The companies were not listed in the phone book. 2 did not have websites, and one of the suite numbers listed did not exist.
That pretty much told me something smelled.
Another red flag, the contracts were for just under $25,000, which means the board did not have to give its approval. Board President Daryl Porter and Jim Bowers called for an investigation.
We have quite a few questions.
The district did look into the matter, and internal audits obtained by News 8 Now show 10 contracts were given to 5 companies last spring and summer. The businesses had commingling addresses and executives. The contracts were for amounts ranging from $24,000 to $24,900. The total amount, $245,700 out of the district's coffers.
These consultants struck me as found a very interesting way to circumvent our own rules, our own laws, in order to line their own pockets.
The appearance is not good.
Mayor Bill Johnson says he is barred from issuing multiple contracts to the same people without city council approval.
To keep issuing those contracts under the level might make it appear that this is a conscious effort to subvert the intent of your oversight bodies.
The district's investigation showed no laws were broken. The district's chief financial officer, Henry Marini, says when his staff brought him the contracts to sign, he did not know the companies were linked.
Because there were different scopes of work in different companies, I didn't see the interconnection between these companies at that time.
But why the multiple contracts just under the board limit? Marini says his staff needed to get the work done quickly, and there was no effort to hide the contracts from the board.
The district followed its policy relative to contracts. Everything went through legal, and we provide quarterly reports to our board.
The district may not have broken any laws, but were there ethical problems?
People were going around the policies to try to get a big contract, which they were concerned about passing on the board levels.
I do believe there were some questionable business practices. I personally believe there's at least 1 or 2 individuals in the district who are involved as well. And it's got to stop. It's got to stop.
An outside investigator hired by the district to look into this did not find any broken laws. The investigation did not look into whether there was anyone in the district getting kickbacks or who had a personal relationship with the consultants. Tonight at 11, who were these consultants, and find out why a judge ordered the district to stop paying them. Rachel Barnhart, News 8 Now.
Thank you, Rachel. Rochester.
See the difference every day. This is News 8 Now.
Good evening. At a time when the Rochester City School District is forecasting big deficits, questions tonight about how your tax dollars were being spent.
There is concern a small group of computer consultants received lucrative contracts without the school board's knowledge. News 8's Rachel Barnhart is here with the story.
2 school board members say the district or the consultants may have been trying to circumvent the school board by drawing up contracts for dollar amounts too small to need a board vote. No laws were broken, but some say it was highly unethical.
City School District documents obtained by News 8 Now show late last year several district workers sounded the alarm about a series of contracts given to outside computer consultants. The 10 contracts totaled nearly $250,000.
That's a lot of money. Think of it in terms of $50,000 per teacher.
School board member Jim Bowers demanded an investigation because the contracts were for amounts just under the $25,000 threshold requiring approval by the board. The district looked into it and found the contracts were awarded to companies that shared addresses and executives. No laws were broken, but Bowers believes the consultants attempted to bypass public scrutiny.
It's very easy to, in effect, abuse our system.
Who were these consultants getting your tax dollars? Several operated out of this Pittsford office building. One of their firms was Filtered Internet Solutions.
We're looking for Filtered Internet Solutions. Have you ever heard of that company? Not at all.
The complex told us the firm had been evicted for non-payment of rent. We went looking for another business, Compression Technologies. The address turned out to be a post office box in Pittsford Plaza. We tried to find Dennis Ruggieri, an officer in several of the firms. His Fairport apartment complex told us he was evicted for failure to pay rent.
Nothing was done unethically.
Consultant Andrew Perry agreed to talk to us. His wife was also awarded some of the contracts in question. Perry says the fact the contracts were just under $25,000 was a coincidence.
There was no intent to defraud anyone. I mean, we didn't know of such a rule. Literally got a scope of work, said we can do it.
Perry says the district got good value for the services he and his associates provided, which included putting the district's budget online, getting deals on Dell computers, and helping the district ward off attacks to network security. But why didn't the consultants operate under just one company?
They asked me to go find them other companies to complete their vision. I found a bunch of other companies who got all sorts of subcontractors and did all the work and completed the scope in that tight timeline.
The consultants got into some hot water in March. That's when a state Supreme Court judge issued a $730,000 default judgment against Perry, Ruggieri, and Filtered Internet Solutions on behalf of a Geneseo man who claimed they took his money in a fraudulent investment scheme. Perry has since settled the case. He would not comment on the suit. The judge in the case ordered the district to stop paying the consultants. District officials say had they known about the lawsuit before they hired the consultants, they may have done some investigating. But in hindsight, district officials say the consultants did a good job.
Are you satisfied with the work that these companies did for the district?
Absolutely.
Would you hire them again?
Yes.
District officials sat down with News 8 and maintained they did nothing wrong when awarding the contracts.
For me, the work got done and the legal department approved the contracts, so in my opinion, we followed the district policy.
We had all the financials. They were all listed as in good standing with the states in which they were incorporated, so it really was not suspicious at that point in time.
District officials say it would be impossible to check out every consultant's address, phone number, and references.
We would need a large army of staff in order to do that.
District officials say they did not know the companies were connected. Their investigation did not look into whether any district worker was friends with the consultants or got kickbacks.
I suspect there were some people who at least looked the other way.
Bowers wants consultants to be required to disclose relationships with other district consultants, but so far the district has not acted on his request.
I shouldn't have to bang my head against the wall to get them to hear that they should fix it. It's public money. It's public money. It's not theirs.
Bowers says there's no way for him to prove the work got done because the contracts were so vaguely worded. The district has agreed to improve the contract language and bundle all contracts to the same people into one big contract. In fact, in November, the board approved a $150,000 contract to one of those consultants, Dale D'Ambrosio. Rachel Barnhart, News 8 Now.
After a highly publicized